Hi, it's Dave Erasmus from the American Rock School in Tampa, Florida. Once again, here talking to you with an English accent, with me logos placed strategically behind me and a Who flag on the wall over there. Anyway, what I'd like to talk today about is a little bit of two-handed tapping, popularized by Mr. Edward Van Halen. Of course, hopefully you know the technique. It's it's relatively simple. But I see a lot of beginners struggle with this because when they're playing with distortion, they end up with a lot of noise because they're not muting out the strings. You see, when you have distortion on, you're going to get a lot of noise unless you're muting out the strings. But here's what I want to talk about. First of all, you can mute out the strings with the back of your hand. Just touch lightly on there. And then free up an avenue for your string that you want to hear while you're holding these other ones down, as opposed to letting your guitar ring out, which then you're going to get all this ringy crap. So again, touch it with the back of your right hand right there, whichever your hand is that you hold the pick. By the way, I like to tuck the pick in right there. I'll just put it in the index hand right there, index finger right in my hand. Anyway, but let's talk a little bit about what's going on here when you're playing some tapping licks. Because the reality is you're playing arpeggios, which are the notes of the chord. So if you happen to know what notes of the chord or what chord you're playing over when you're tapping, that's probably a good idea. So let's start with an easy one, E major on our E string. If I tap the 12th fret, we know that that's also E, same note as the open, it's an octave higher. But then I'm going to also play the G sharp on the 4th fret and the B on the 7th fret. And we're going to do those notes right there. My preferred method of tapping is to do a forward and backward motion where it goes up and then back, as opposed to just going backwards or just forwards. You may notice that sometimes I'll sort of pluck the string with my tapping finger before I just begin tapping. I might just go, see that right there? It's kind of like picking it and then tapping after. So that's an E major chord, by the way, because we're playing the G sharp, the B here with my pinky, and then E. Those are the notes of a G chord, of an E chord. E major right there. I'm going to tear my distortion down a bit. So there's an E major chord. Here's the tapping. Alright, well the first thing you want to do is figure out how to make a major chord or minor chord, and that is just by lowering the third interval, which in this case is the G sharp, down to a G natural. So if we keep all notes remain the same other than the G sharp's going to go down to G natural, that would make it an E minor lick. Alright, now moving forward from there, we got E major, open 4, 7, 12, E minor, open 3, 7, 12. Let's do another chord. Also, this chord is A, and this is we're just going to keep our fingers in the same sort of spots here, but I'm going to move up to the 5th fret, getting the root note all there. Then I'm going to tap a C sharp on the 9th fret, and then I'm going to tap the 12th fret for E. E is in the chord A major anyway. We've got A, C sharp, and E, and we get a A major lick right there. There's an A major chord, here's the A major lick. So then the next thing you want to know is, how do you make that a minor chord? Well, you lower the third. In the same case, in this situation, we lower our C sharp down to a C natural, going from the 9th fret to the 8th fret with our pinky. And we've got an A minor lick right there. Isn't that just wonderful? So those are very common chords. E major, E minor, A major, A minor. Here's an interesting idea also. If we like to do something, let's do a variation on the E chord. Let's play E7. In which case we have to add a D note. So we have the notes E, G sharp, B, and then I'm going to tap the 10th fret for a D. By the way, E7 transitions nicely as the 5th chord to the A major or sometimes A minor. So let's play E7 to A major. Ready? E7, open, 4, 7, 10, which is E7, and then we're going to go to A. So E7 to A major. Yeah, that's pretty nifty, isn't it? We could also go E major to A minor. Sounds like this. E major, A minor. Can you hear it in there? Of course you can. E major, A minor, So that's what's going on. So this is like random notes that are just coincidentally sound good together. There's a reason why they work together. Should we do another one? Yeah, let's take the same idea. I don't want to go too far because I'm getting hungry and I want to get out of here. All right then. So let's look at the B string and apply the same concept to what we just learned, which is to be able to play over a major chord, a minor chord, and then again a major chord, a minor chord, all on the same string. So let's go to the B string. Well, the first thing you can do is a B major chord, right? Just like we did E on the E string, we could do B on the B string and it'd be the same exact frets. Open, 12, 4, and 7. Hey, how do we make that minor? Well, we lower our third. Again, we lower the D sharp down to a D natural and we get B minor. So we got B major, B minor. How do we make it a 7? We tap the 10th fret so we get the note A right there, B7. Hey, B minor 7, right? Interesting, eh? Can you hear that in there? Okay, so we did the same thing we did, and now we're going to move up a little bit, and I'm going to play another E major lick because there's the E on the 5th fret of my B string, and I could grab the G sharp here. These are the same notes we did here, but it's on a different string. Those are both E major licks. E major. Here's another E major. Getting a lot of the same notes. Listen to this. The first 3 notes on that string are the notes that I'm tapping on this string. And then I'm getting open B. How to make it minor? Well, we lower our G sharp down to a G natural right there, the 9th fret down to the 8th fret with our pinky. So this is another E minor lick right there. There's 2 E minor licks. There's another one, we don't have to worry about that. Well, I'll just tell you it's 12, 15, and 19. Anyway, moving on, baby. You could do this stuff all day long. You could really expand on this, but I'm just trying to keep it simple. So using the same concept, you should be able to do the same thing with the G string and play G major. Oops. G major, G minor. You can play C major, C minor. Let's go to the D string and we can do D major, D minor. We can play G major, G minor. And then we go to the A string and do A major, A minor, D major, D minor. Of course, if we go over to this 10th fret, we can tap and get that lowered 7th interval. If we tap down on the 11th fret, we just get the 7th, the major 7th interval. So for example, if I wanted to do a major 7 lick, boy, I can do this English accent all day long. If I wanted to do A major 7, for example, I could tap the 11th fret here, then I grab the 4th fret and the 7th fret. So that would be open string A, so A major 7. I did slide up to the 12th fret to get another octave of the root note there. Kind of nifty here. G major 7. G minor 7. I was kind of slapping my finger on the B string, getting a crappy note there. But anyway, you see how far you can go with this. It's always good to know when you can use those licks instead of just kind of winging it and seeing, just hoping to get lucky. It's nice to know what's the chord being played and then do something to follow that chord change right there. Sure enough, all right, have a good time. You can have fun with that, won't you? Yes.